That's the dirtiest little, that's the worst exposed shot and composite. How's it going, guys? Mike here from Moment. Today, I'm the lucky person that gets to talk to you guys about gimbals. Hopping in my car right now, gonna cruise over to a coffee shop and get some iced tea. Just kidding, getting some iced latte. All right, guys, I'm at a park right next to the skate park here in Venice and some other cool streets. We're gonna skateboard on here in a little bit, but first I'm gonna break down each of the gimbals and tell you about each one of them. I think they're all great and they all have different kind of use cases and somebody that might use each one of these. Shout out to the noise in the background of the cars, epic shot. Anyways, let's go set up over here at the picnic. Let's go sit up over here. I've had like 2 iced lattes today. If I have another one, I'm literally gonna have a heart attack. Cool, so let's go sit up over here and let's jump into gimbals. All right, guys, so I'm here in Venice at a little park. Around the corner is the skate park. I'm gonna show you guys some footage from there in a little bit, as well as there's some cool streets nearby that I'm gonna jump on a longboard or potentially the one wheel. I'm not really trying to break my leg, but maybe I'll give that thing a shot for some cool footage. Anyways, all 3 of the gimbals are pretty small, as you can see here. They fit in a small backpack, which is why they're really cool. I shoot a lot with bigger cameras as well, and gimbals are massive. Like 4 or 5 years ago, they were so big and cumbersome to use. I always liked the footage from them, but I'd pull it out and I'd be like, this thing is so just cumbersome and big to carry around and things. It's crazy that we've gotten gimbals now that are literally the size that I can fit 3 in my backpack. All right, guys, so to cut to the chase, our 3 favorite gimbals of 2019 are the Osmo 3, the Zhiyun Smooth 4, Zhiyun, do you guys know how to pronounce it? If you do, leave it down in the comments phonetically so I can sound it out. And then the Movi Freefly. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about each one by one, but if you were just here to figure out what the top 3 are, there you go. Let's jump into the Osmo 3 first. All right, guys, so up first is the Osmo 3. This is probably one of the smallest gimbals I've ever used. I love this thing. I did a video with Niles on this probably a month ago or 2 months ago now, and we love shooting with it. It doesn't really get any simpler than this. So if you're somebody that's just getting into filmmaking and you want the footage on your phone to look a little bit better, a little bit more cinematic, maybe you want to up your Instagram story game, this, for the price, is pretty unbeatable. I've used bigger gimbals that take a little while to set up, that you have to balance and things. This one is super easy to get your phone into. Let me toss my iPhone 11 Pro in here right now. What's really cool about this is there's not too many buttons. For somebody that's just getting into filmmaking that doesn't want to be overwhelmed, there's literally a record button, there's a button to move the screen up and down, and the power button, and then you can lock out the axes and things if you want to as well. You don't need to use the app in order to use this gimbal. Yeah, it's a straightforward, really easy to use, great gimbal. Definitely one of my favorites I've ever used. I also love the fact that it goes between landscape and portrait mode really easily. I filmed a few Instagram stories like this, and I put them on my account, and people were like, whoa, that looks so cinematic, which is pretty cool. The one thing I also want to add about this is there's no counterweight system currently, so we have a compatibility chart on our Osmo 3 page. If you click the link for the Osmo 3 down below, you can go check it out. Some of the lenses and phones combos don't work, so if you have a super heavy lens like maybe the iPhone 11 Pro Max and you're trying to add the wide lens, it's probably not going to work just because it's too heavy, and you might want to look at one of the other gimbal options I'm about to show you in a second. So this is the iPhone 11 with the anamorphic lens. It works okay, but yeah, definitely check out that compatibility chart if you're thinking about getting the Osmo 3, just so you're not let down if you have a beast phone like I do, the 11 Pro Max, and you're like, why doesn't the wide fit on here? So if you are somebody that wants to use lenses on your phone and you have one of the bigger phones, one of the other gimbals is probably better for you. Alright guys, so the Zhiyun Smooth 4, this is our next gimbal that we're checking out. This gimbal has a pretty cool look to it. It kind of reminds me of some of the higher end DSLR style gimbals that I've shot with. This will support phones weighing up to 7.4 ounces. It's pretty strong. When it comes to mounting moment lenses, that's when you'll probably need the universal counterweight system. We sell that as well. I was able to attach this super easily. You literally just stick it on the end of the gimbal, and it helps balance some of the heavier weights. and that's that. And now I can put on my phone, and it can be a heavier phone, and I can attach some of the heavier lenses like the Moment Wide. So a few other things to mention on this gimbal. What I really like about it is it has this big wheel here. You can use that for focusing, or you can use it for zoom. So it also has a pretty sophisticated little interface here with the buttons and things on the handle, which is pretty cool. A lot more functionality that's built into something than like the Osmo. You can see the difference here. There's quite a bit. So this gimbal for advanced shooters just has a handful of more features that kind of puts it in the direction of something that's more advanced like the Movi Freefly, but it's not fully there. It's still at a pretty affordable price range, just giving you those more advanced features. So I think if you're using this gimbal, you probably should download the free app, because without it, a lot of the features here on the handle and things don't work, aside from maybe locking out the axes or the direction that you're shooting. The Osmo 3, I'd say you don't necessarily need the app, because you can still do a lot of the features right there on the handle and you don't need it. So if you're somebody that wants to shoot super quick and get up and start going, maybe the Osmo 3 is a little bit better for you. If you are trying to get into more advanced shooting, you want to be able to do things like rack focusing. This has a little bit more going on, and it's slightly more advanced, so it kind of depends on the shooter that you are. So this thing's got about 12 hours of battery life. The Osmo 3 was about 15 hours, so it's a little bit less, but it does have more features. You can also keep this thing powered through like a USB battery pack. And the other cool thing I noticed was that you can actually connect your phone as well to the gimbal, and it'll actually charge your phone. So you can keep your phone charged while you're shooting. So let me put our heaviest lens on right now and see what happens. Oh! Don't do that. All right, guys, so yeah, as you can see, that's a pretty heavy lens. If I turn the gimbal on right now, it would probably struggle a little bit. So I have the counterweight attached here. Let's see if I make some adjustments here. Hit the power. Yeah, this thing has no issues whatsoever with the heavy lenses. So yeah, with this gimbal setup, I think this is the first one that's probably gonna be able to adapt pretty much any of your lenses. I mean, this feels super strong and rock solid. You could get some really cool shots with this. So if you have one of the bigger phones and you want to be able to use the Moment lenses, this is probably the gimbal for you. All right, guys, so last but definitely not least, this is the Freefly Movi. It's probably the most sophisticated filmmaking tool we have for smartphones. This thing is really well made. You can feel it in your hand. It's the heaviest between the three gimbals. I've got my phone in here now with the 58mm lens on, which is a pretty heavy lens. It's not struggling at all. I don't even have the counterweight system on right now. So this thing is definitely a little powerhouse. It's the most expensive out of the three, but if you're somebody that really takes mobile filmmaking seriously, then this is probably the gimbal for you. So I just mentioned this about the Zhiyun gimbal as well as this one. In order to unlock most of the features and a lot of the buttons that are on the controller, you're gonna need to download the apps. With the Osmo 3, the app does add some cool features, but you don't necessarily need it. I kind of feel like the second two gimbals, you kind of need to download the apps. But when you have the app installed, it really makes this thing incredible. I mean, there's so much that you can do literally just from pushing the buttons. I think what I like about this one as well is that you can use two hands. With those, they're both one-handed gimbals. With this one, you could shoot with one hand, but I kind of like the idea of shooting with two, because you can get super, super stable footage. So all three of these gimbals have 1/4-20 threads on the bottom, which is pretty cool because not only can you attach it to a tripod or something like that, but you could also attach it to a monopod. If you attach something like this onto a monopod, you're already getting cinematic, smooth footage right out of your phone just in your hand. If you attach a monopod as well, you can stretch it out all the way and get these really cool crane style shots. I mean, what you can do with your phone is getting to the point where it's just mind-blowing. I mean, this stuff 5 or 10 years ago was not possible. So all three of these gimbals are great. I think it just really depends on the type of shooter you are and the features that you want. All right, guys, so I'm gonna pack all this stuff up and head down to the Venice skate park. I'm gonna get some footage on some of these gimbals, and then I'm gonna jump onto the skateboard and film some stuff with the Osmo 3. And yeah, let's go get some footage. Alright guys, just got home, super long day, but had a blast shooting with the different gimbals. I think I got some pretty cool shots. All three of the gimbals are excellent options. It just kind of depends, like I said, on the shooter that you are. Links to all three of them are down below. Go check them out at shotmoment.com. And yeah, thanks guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.